We continue our conversation with the Principal Secretary for Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Dr. Korir Sing'oei, talking about that Haiti story. It's obvious. I mean, look, we all thought this was funded by the United Nations and the United States government. Why are we paying money up front?
Jeff, this is the normal practice. When we sent a deployment to DRC, Kenya underwrote a great deal of that expense until we got money from the African Union Peace Fund. Okay? In the same manner, the multinational security support mission to Haiti is a UN-mandated mission. The financing mechanism for it is through what is called a trust fund, which basically enables countries to make contributions to this fund. Now, these countries, several countries have already made contributions to this fund. And so it's really a matter of accounting here. The resources will certainly be reimbursed to Kenya, the way the Cabinet Secretary for National Treasury has said. So there's no actual loss, to the country. This is what happens in the normal course of business around peacekeeping and peace enforcement, because the resources are never quite available, at the get-go, right. And yet the deployment has to take place because you have to deal with immediate security needs that have been identified.
Okay, and since this deal, the whole thing was put together by the Biden administration, now that Donald Trump has come in, there's a couple of Republican senators who are opposed to this Haiti mission. And the Republicans, as well as I do, they control the House, they control the Senate, now they control the White House. What if they say, shut it down? What happens?
First, I think let me be very clear that this multinational security mission is in Haiti pursuant to a UN Security Council resolution. The United States of America is just one member of the UN Security Council. That resolution received the endorsement of the Council in its entirety. And therefore, one cannot therefore say that merely because there's going to be a change of guard in the United States that the MSS will not be supported. But beyond that, there is a new resolution that is being negotiated with a view to transitioning the MSS from the current financing mechanism under a trust fund to a UN, a direct UN peacekeeping force. And by so doing, what will happen then is that the deployment will be able to attract resources from ordinary contributions of the entire UN membership writ large. And therefore, in terms of sustainability, there is already thinking that this trust fund mechanism anyway was merely transitory to allow for a certain level of security to be established and then ultimately to transition the mission to a UN security mission in full.
And Donald Trump being Donald Trump and the U.S. being the biggest funder of this mission, what if he just wakes up one day and he says, we don't need to fund this? What happens?
I do not wish to, to speculate, but I think the point that needs to be made is that to our minds, the existence of the MSS actually aligns with President-elect Trump's strategy around immigration, because part of dealing with the migration challenge is ensuring that that you stabilize countries, from where immigrants come. Okay, and so a lot of Haitians who are leaving their country are leaving the country because of insecurity and because there are no opportunities and because of poor governance, amongst other reasons. And so what the MSS is actually trying to do is to establish the conditions necessary for the flourishing of the Haitian society, which then deals with the problem of illegal immigrants at source. And so we do not actually see a misalignment. And that's perhaps why President Ruto and President Trump spoke, and this issue came up. And I think it is our firm belief that the new administration in the United States will actually look solicitously to the multinational security mission as one of the key solutions to the Haitian predicament.
And Dr. before we move on, real quick, Kenya, what do we hope to achieve from this? Because the superpower United States is 90 miles from Haiti. It's right next door, literally. And they are 200 times more powerful than Kenya. What are we supposed to achieve being out there with 400 troops or officers or whatever, 1,000 it is in the end? What is our end game?
But Jeff, it is this sense of helplessness around Haiti that we need to overcome. The feeling and the perception that just because we are small as Kenya, just because we are far flung from Haiti, okay, we are therefore without any sense of capacity to be able to assist in stabilizing the country. The reality is that even with the small deployment of 500 men, that has already made a difference. It has already liberated the airport. It has liberated the port. It's opened up the palace. It's opened up the main hospital. The thoroughfares around Port-au-Prince are already functioning, and people are going around their lives again, and there is a sense of renewed hope. And so the point really is that what Kenya and President Ruto are trying to do is to respond to the call, the legitimate call of the Haitian people who made this call at the UN Security Council. And Kenya, being a well-known troop-contributing country and a well-known peacekeeper around the world, we do not shy away from this kind of challenges, even when we have limited resources and even when our capacity might be limited.
Yeah. Dr. I want to talk about what the President launched today, the foreign policy document. That 60 years of MFA, Kenya standing on the global stage. I want to talk about Kenyans in Beirut, and that young Kenyan in Saudi Arabia who was sentenced to death. You have a follow-up on that. What's the latest? And also other issues about Kenyans abroad.
Certainly.
Asante sana. Sit tight. We're still talking to Dr. Korir Sing'oei. He's the Principal Secretary for Foreign Affairs.